Last week, we focused on your vision. We talked about how there's nothing worse than achieving a goal that you set out to achieve for the wrong reasons. Ideally, by this point, you have a clear idea of what your vision of a successful future with your speaking is, your why for wanting to improve your speaking. For most people, this is linked to a desired future that involves an improved outcome that increases either the money that you earn, the time that you have, and the way that you spend your time, or your sense of self-mastery, or often all of those things. If you haven't spent some time working on your vision plan, I really strongly suggest you go back and do that first so that you can be clear on what your values are and what you really want. This week, we are going to move forward and focus on your speaking growth plan.
I just wanted to share with you this really powerful quotation, which is from Stephen R. Covey, who is a master in teaching people how to change their habits. Before we read the quotation, if you notice at the bottom, there is an explanation of some of the vocabulary words. In particular, note that the word course in this context means a path or a road or a track or a way of moving rather than a course like a instructional course. So think of it as a path. Okay, so the quotation says, think about taking a trip on an airplane. Before taking off, the pilot has a very clear destination in mind. The plane takes off at the appointed hour toward that predetermined destination. But in fact, the plane is off course at least 90% of the time. Weather conditions, turbulence, and other factors cause it to get off track. However, feedback is given to the pilot constantly, who then makes course corrections and keeps coming back to the exact flight plan, bringing the plane back on course. So I love this quotation because it's mind-boggling, really crazy to think that a plane is off course, traveling, moving in the wrong direction 90% of the time, but that's okay because the pilot constantly corrects and constantly looks for what change is needed to get back onto the right path, the right course. So last week we talked about your vision, and your vision is really where you are going. So it's like, just like a plane needs to know which city is it going to, you need to know your vision, where you want to go, what you really want. But that's not all that you need, because really you need to ground that into reality. And I love this quotation also. Dreams plus embracing reality plus determination equals success. So yes, you need your vision of where you want to go, but you need many other things along the way as well, including embracing reality, being honest about where you actually are. I would like to share with you my CALM framework for speaking success, which is my signature framework that I created to help high-level English speakers step into their power and really understand how they can continue to keep reaching new levels of speaking success. The reason I'm sharing it with you at this point is I wanted to point out to you that you are already doing these steps. You have already been using them in weeks 1, 2, and 3. You have already been using them in your own English language journey. But now it's time to be more conscious and more deliberate in thinking about how you are moving through each of these steps. So the first step is connection. You need to connect to yourself, your sense of calm. You need to go within. It also can be helpful to connect to others who can help you and who you can help. But for now, the first phase is just to really get a sense of how do you cultivate calm within your own body, within your own life. Then you need to take action, but not just any action. You need to have had a period of calmness and reflection, and from that, you need to be able to align your goals with your vision and values. You need to have been calm enough to get rid of the noise of the world that you can really tune into what you really want and what is really important for you, and then take action on your aligned goals. You need to learn things. You need to keep going through the process of being a student and learning something new, but you also need to review. Is it working for you? And then the last step that many people forget is you really need a focus on mastery of the small habit shifts, the small incremental, as in step by step changes that over time add up to big differences. So, for example, the exercise of focusing on having powerful pauses is a small habit shift, but if you've mastered that, then you can go back to the beginning of the loop and think about your connection to yourself, what you really want, and what's the next thing that you need to learn, master a new habit, and then start all over again. So, this is a great framework for helping you move through these new levels of success that come for high level English speakers. Just like the plane is off course 90% of the time and needs to constantly make corrections, so too you need this continual cycle of reflection and action that leads to mastery. Yes, you've already been working on these stages, but now it's time to be more intentional about it. Okay, let's jump into the action of creating our speaking growth plan.